What's up, guys? This out here for the Team Fantasy Football League Commissioner Cody. We're back with your Week 2 recap, I guess you could say. I didn't really think about that before I said it, but here we are recapping. What I'm going to do, just like I did with last week's video, is I'm going to go through each matchup, give you the scores, the records, their power rankings, their top 3 performers, and just give my quick initial take, and we'll move on. So let's start it off. We always start with our defending champion, Phil. Two-time defending champion, Phil. That's about the only good thing I can really say about him right now, other than his 2-star performers. Phil takes not even a shellacking, just this matchup ended up going into Monday night on a nail-biter, and not in a good way. It wasn't like two high-scoring teams here. We got Joe, who's 1-1, power ranking 14 against Phil, who is now 0-2, power ranking 10. Joe puts up 168.9 to Phil's 165.14. As I said, this went into Monday night. Bobby Wagner put up 31 for Joe on a defensive player leading the team in points. Okay, Joe, that's not usually a sign for a successful team, but hey, I'll take 31 points from a linebacker. Zeke went 21.7 and Ryan Tannehill with 19.08. For Phil, he had Patrick Mahomes with 39.07, Aaron Rodgers with 38.4, and Mike Davis all the way down with a 15.55. As I said, the only thing Phil could really smile about is that he's the defending two-time champion. And he has Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes because they put up a combined half of his points. Literally. The math would be 78.1 is 39.07 to 38 point. No, I guess not. My math sucks. Whatever, 70 some, and he put up 160. So let's do some math. Okay, it's not half, but it was close. It was close. Phil, man, no offense to Joe, but you lost to Joe. His best point scorer was Bobby Wagner, defender. Man. You're still hungover from your championship celebration, huh? Congratulations, Joe. First win in the league. Regardless of how you got it, you got it. You got a dub. Congratulations, buddy. Better luck next week, Phil. Moving on. And I can't wait to get into my my matchup record for this week, because I did. It was delightful how well I did. Anyway, then we had number 1 Scott versus number 8 Hobert. Scott he put up 240.1 points to Hobert's 223.4. Scott was number 1 in the power rankings. The Hobert's 8. I think I just said that. 2-0 for Scott now. 1-1 for Hobert. Scott's top 3 performers were Tom Brady with 41.69, CMC with 30.7, and Goff with 27.24. Hobert had, here we go, Aaron Jones with 45.75. His Bills defense with 25.03, and Justin Herbert with 24.02. So what this tells me is, well, Scott's top 3 performers were all high scoring, 40s, 30s, and high 20s. So 240 makes a lot of sense. It's pretty solid all around from top to bottom on his roster. Hobert was pretty solid from top to bottom as well. He had the high point total from Aaron Jones with 45. And his next two, put up 25 and 24. So, for him to get 223 points, he had to be rather consistent throughout the rest of his lineup. So, while he took the L against Scott, I mean, what can you do? Scott has a really, really good team. There's a reason why he was number 1 in the power rankings last week. So get him next week, Hobert. Unless it's against me, then the week after that. Scott, congratulations, 2-0 for the 2-time champion. Lots to be happy about with you and your team. Moving on, we had number 6 Brandwagon versus number 3 Greg. Brandwagon put up 197.63 points to Greg's 233.28. Brandwagon falls to 1-1 to Greg's improving to 2-0. Brandwagon's top three performers were Daniel Jones with 34.31, the Buccaneers defense with 26.69, and Marvin Jones with 17.5. Greg's top three performers were Tyler Lockett with 34.8, Matt Ryan with 29.1, and Dalvin Cook with 23.3. What this tells me is Brandwagon's team was in the teens. What I mean by that is, you had the high scorer and Daniel Jones. Then you had 26-point score with your defense, but then Marvin Jones with 17 and a half is your next guy. That just tells me that you kind of had a fall off. I think, again, I'm not actually looking at it right now, so if I'm wrong, I apologize. But that's just kind of what it tells me. If you would have, had more of a consistent back line, you probably could have hit that even 220. You know what I mean? So, or even, your top three performers, one went all the way down to the teens, whereas, Greg had Dalvin Cook in the low 20s. So just more consistent for Greg all around. So shout out to them for, they got the key to the locket, I guess. I still, his history is hit or miss. I know he's on fire right now. I have Russell Wilson, so go Tyler Lockett. I don't fucking care. But but I'm just skeptical from previous seasons, so it's just me personally. Congratulations to Greg Brandwagon. Go get him next week, buddy. I feel like I'm saying that to everybody. Moving on. This was like the toilet bowl based on the power rankings. Excuse me, geez Louise. Doug, number 15 in the power rankings last week with 169.43 to Kyle's number 16 in the power rankings, 179.05. Kyle comes up to 1-1 to Doug falling 0-2. Doug did not have a starting quarterback yet again this week. He will next week, but not this week. So unfortunately, he almost came back with a comeback on Kyle, but unfortunately for Doug, Kyle ended up holding on, which you kind of, when you don't have a quarterback, you kind of expect it. Top three performers for Doug was Cooper Kupp with 38.05, Mike Williams 22.1, and Devontae Adams with 21.1. They're all solid top three for Doug. Kyle with Jimmy G with 28.31. Baker Mayfield 23.82, and Nick Chubb with 21.05. Well, it's pretty much the theme for both of them. Doug, again, if he had a quarterback, like if he had two quarterbacks, he could easily have 200 points right now. But he will next week have one quarterback. But, it's just the risk that he took coming into the season with two rookie quarterbacks starting on the bench. High potential for both quarterbacks. And, anything's possible. And you get one this week. So, I get it, but it just doesn't help within the win column immediately. So, I can see Doug's taking the wait and see approach, and, his team's putting him 169 points with no starting quarterback. So what do you guys expect? Wait for him to get two quarterbacks. That's an extra 40 points, on average on his team, and boom, he's at 210. So, guys, watch out for Doug because the core of his team is set. He just needs two starting mobile quarterbacks, which he has. So, I just kind of spoke. I've been wondering what his strategy was, and I kind of just put it all together just now verbally. And watch out for Doug, guys, because that's kind of scary. Kyle, you're not much after your team there. You had both your quarterbacks in your top three. You had Nick Chubb up there, one of your keepers. Saquon's kind of falling apart. I just worry about your depth, I think. Well, yeah, Marquez Callaway is not doing anything. I have the draft board right up here, as always. I mean, Jamar Chase, like I said, I was wrong. Sterling Shepard, he's nice and all. But, I don't know. Actually, it's not as bad. I guess it is. I don't know. Sorry, Kyle, but you got the win. Congratulations. You won't be last in the power rankings this week. I promise you that. Which we'll get into next episode. Doug, like I said, watch out for Doug. I'm the worst, I know. I'm sorry, Kyle. You got the win. I'm happy for you. Moving on, we have me, your commissioner, Cody, playing against Dylan. Cody was number 4 in the power rankings to Dylan's 13. One of these days I won't be yawning. I put up 215.59 to Dylan's 193.97. Cody improves to 2-0 to Dylan falling to 0-2. Cody's top 3 performers were Russell Wilson with 34.87, Travis Kelce with 27.4, and Sam Darnold 26.55. Dylan's top 3 performers were Derek Carr with 34.78, Cortland Sutton with 25.9, and Deontay Johnson with 20.5. My takeaway from this is, oh man, I really just need to stop yawning. You know, the kind of the two similar, top 3 performers, between Cody and Dylan. All 3 of them are pretty much in the same. Cody had an extra 8 points, give or take. And the rest of the roster is separated by 7 points. So this is a really close matchup. I definitely was sitting on the edge of my heels for there for a second. I'm very surprised, very happy with Sam Darnold being the 14th round pick of mine to be my second quarterback. I'm thrilled with him just playing well right now. I'm also extremely thrilled, and just my top 2 performers were the 2 guys that I really wanted as my first and second round pick. Russell Wilson and Travis Kelce. Anything could happen in the future, but I gotta say, at this current moment, this is not how I felt with Julio Jones, okay? I feel so safe. I am happy. I am 2-0. I am 3rd in points, I believe. I'm thrilled with how my team is playing. Anyway, I digress. Dylan, you were close. You'll get him next time. Like I said, I like your team. You ran into a brick wall this week. I can't remember who you played last week, but you took the L there. Oh man! If you could get Joe Burrow, I know Joe Burrow had a disappointing week for you. So if you can get him in your top 3 line and top 3 to go along with these guys, then boom, you're all of a sudden making me really sweat, and we could have had a closer Monday night matchup maybe or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Moving on, we have Jay, number 7 last week's power rankings, to Liam, number 9 in last week's power rankings. Jay puts up 184.62 to Liam's 225.17. Liam improves to 1-1, and Jay falls to 1-1. Lots of 1-1s. There's 4 2-0 teams, by the way. All right, now that that's over with. Jay's top 3 performers were Teddy Bridgewater with 30.42 to Carson Wentz 21.63 and Nick Vigil with 21.5. Liam's top 3 performers were Derrick Henry with 59.45, Matt Stafford with 24.22, and Julio Jones, speak of the devil, 19.8, since he didn't show up in week 1. Here's my takeaway. If Derrick Henry has a normal person game, Jay is easily in this game. If Derrick Henry puts up 20 points, Jay loses by less than a point. Just to put that into context, whatever Derrick Henry did last week, which wasn't anything, if he would have did that this week or added an extra 6 points for a touchdown, just that's how bad he was last week, or that team was, not him. Well, I guess he was too, but how bad that team was, Jay wins this matchup. So there's your difference maker right there. Do I need to say anything else? That's why Liam's 1-1. That's why he's always the ground and pound. That's why, he put up, 200 and some points last week. I had to put up, 235 or something like that, give or take, just to beat him. That's what Liam does, is Liam's a ground and pound Derrick Henry fantasy football team. That's just what it is. So better luck next week, Jay. Not that you're going to watch this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Good job, Liam, if you watch this. If not, well, regardless. Moving on. 2 more matchups. Making good time, I think. Let me know if you guys like the format of this, while it's rather quick and sweet. I think I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with the previews, though, so you might not want to watch that one. I'll have to do power rankings video after that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, moving on. We have number 2 in last week's power rankings, Eric, versus Craig at number 5. Last week's power rankings, Eric improves to 2-0 with the 183.21 to Craig's 139.9. Craig falling to 1-1. Major disappointment compared to last week for Craig, unfortunately. You hate to see it. Eric, falls off a little bit from last week's overachieving performance, it seems like. Top 3 performers were Kirk Cousins with 36.6, Josh Allen with 22.81, and Chris Carson with 18.35 to Craig's Najee Harris 21.6, Big Ben with 18.3, and DeAndre Swift with 13.8. The top 3 kind of tells it all. At least Eric had, in his 30s with his keeper, or not keeper, with Kirk Cousins, a 20s guy with Josh Allen, and Chris Carson with high teens with 18 and some change. Craig's top performer was 21, and his third best performer was 13. So that's just not going to get it done on a daily basis. I know, Tua got hurt, and, Craig's team isn't as good as I thought it was, at least in week 2. He got that win in week 1. It happens. Hopefully not more than once for Craig. Unless it's against me, you can do that against me. I don't care. As I said, Eric improves to 2-0. His team's a pesky team. You never know what you're going to get from Eric. I feel like last year he was so far up and down the power rankings and just, his season inconsistency. I feel like we're going to get that again this season, even though he's 2-0. So, shout out to Eric, and better luck next week, Craig. Moving on. Final matchup of the week. That was the matchup of the week officially, that Craig and Eric. I mentioned, I wanted to say as well, apologies to Eric. I said in the last video that the matchup of the week was Cody versus Craig. I was mistaken. I am obviously too full of myself. I have apologized publicly in the group chat to Eric, and I will apologize here. Eric, it was you that was in the matchup of the week last week with Craig, and you, Eric, won the matchup of the week versus Craig. So congratulations to you, Eric, for winning the matchup of the week. Go, Eric. Moving on. Final matchup of the week. We have number 11, Jerry, versus number 12, Will. Jerry falls to 0-2 with 168.29 to Will's 248, a week high. The high of the week. The high of the week, 248.25, improving to 1-1. So shout out to Will for that. We'll get into Jerry's top 3 with Mike Evans with 24.5, Tyrod Taylor with 21.55, and TJ Hawkinson with 20.6. Moving on, we have Will's top 3, and this kind of tells it all. Kyler Murray with 47.65, Lamar Jackson with 43.06, and Terry McLaurin with 30.2. All you need to know is if his quarterback, Will goes however far his quarterbacks take him. Last week he lost, and they didn't, Kyler did. And let me rephrase that. Last week, Will lost because he didn't have any help with his top 3. Okay? So his quarterbacks got him 80 points last week, give or take. He didn't, and Alvin Kamara played well as well. But nobody else showed up. Robert Woods, Terry McLaurin, they kind of just bleh. And all his other guys. But this week, Terry McLaurin puts up 30 points. And off the top of my head, I know Alvin Kamara didn't have the best week. But everybody else showed up. Robert Woods had an okay day. I think he scored a touchdown. Or was that in week 1? That might have been week 1. I don't know. I'm not looking at the stats in front of me. But right there, he has 120 points between his top 3 players. He goes as far as they take him. Jerry just ran into a brick wall, unfortunately. Will does this every other week, as we saw last year. His team is, on paper, his team is right up there. Like I said, just personal. I like his team a lot. So this isn't surprising. But I do want to know who's going to hit 300 points this season. Because nobody even hit 250 yet. Who's going to hit 250 first? That'd be interesting. Who's going to hit 250 first? We have Will's the closest so far with 248.25. So shout out to Will for that. I will briefly get into my record for last week because I just don't want to wait until the next video. I went 2-6. I picked all of you underdog schmucks to make me look good, and you all disappointed me. You know who didn't disappoint me? The one that I get the most shit for giving the most shit for, and that was Kyle. Kyle won his matchup. Now, he played Doug, okay? Let's not get crazy. But oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't mark this one. I was 3-5. I'm an idiot. That's fine. Either way, the two that I won were pretty much slam dunk. Brandwagon took the L. I had that for an upset. Damn it, Brandwagon. You're thinking about basketball over there. How dare you? Jay couldn't beat Liam. Well, Liam's a brick wall. But like I said, Derrick Henry, you were there. You were almost there. Craig, the week's worst points total this week. Oh, man, I bought in. Jerry, I was betting on Will's disappointing week last week. And Phil, what the fuck, dude? My defending champion, 2-time defending champion. Phil, what the fuck, dude? I went 3-5 this week, so my record is now 8-8. So I went 5-3 last week. I made better decisions this week. Stay tuned. With all that being said, that's your week 2 recap. I am now officially working on an algorithm for the power rankings. It won't be up for a couple weeks, month maybe longer. I don't know. We'll see how much I want to incorporate into what that means in the power rankings, what's valuable, what isn't, things like that. But we'll get there. And we'll do the preview next, and yeah, all that fun stuff. I sent out the player values for next year. If you guys have a question, I have the player values screenshotted on my phone at all times, so feel free to ask for it, or just look in the group chat. It's there. Or if you were smart, which I know all of you are, I wouldn't have 15 or 16 idiots in my league. Just one or two. I'm just kidding. You should have screenshotted it as well for your own records. But I digress. That's what I'm here for. I have all the information if you need it on my phone. All right, well, that's your week 2 recap. Peace out.